United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator, Pakistan, to deliver his address.
I was just calling you the technocratic Senior Minister Punjab, Naz, CEO of Dawn, my colleague, head of WHO, Romina, my sister who's here, always supporting the climate change agenda. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're here today to discuss our very first contract, the one we signed with our first gasp, and which continues 12 times every minute, every day, until the last one we have. It is our most intimate and non-negotiable relationship with our world. We're here to talk about air and the air we breathe. It's not an abstract concept, but a fabric of life itself. The substance that fuels our cells, fills our lungs, and fuels our dreams. But what happens when that very substance turns against us? When the air we breathe becomes a slow-acting poison. The science is clear. The verdict is delivered in the numbers that should shake us all. 99% of us in this room and 99% of humanity now, according to WHO, breathe air that is unsafe. Let that number be something that galvanizes us. This is not a distant threat, it's a global siege. About 7 million people lose their lives every year because of the air they breathe. It's a single greatest environmental risk of our lives and a silent pandemic that claims the lives of young, old, and vulnerable among us. And this burden, like many others, is not shared. It's thrust upon mainly the poor, but also mainly countries that are developing, where 95% of these tragedies unfold. But the cost is just not human cost, it's also economic. The figures are about $6 trillion annually, that about 5% of the entire global GDP that is lost because of pollution. There is no better and more heartbreaking place to discuss this issue. I want to congratulate the Dawn Group than here in Lahore, where you've heard from the senior minister, last year a thick and a toxic cloud descended upon UNESCO's recognized wonders that are in Lahore. And about 13 million people were sentenced to breathe an ever-worsening haze. Last winter, the stain was so profound here in Lahore that it was visible from the space, a glaring testament of what needs to be done and the dangers we face. The smog is our creation. In that as I stand here today, we expect, but I must congratulate the minister and the government of Punjab for all the action that you are taking. But the fear still exists around what will happen in the coming few weeks. Will we again breathe it in? Will we again test, feel, and create the fear across this city and many parts of Pakistan, and forcing schools to be closed, communities to stay in, or will we start to see some change? And again, I want to congratulate the minister and the team here. And Imran, I think the task is on you. The burden is high, I understand, but action must be taken. This is not an environmental issue alone. According to our Secretary General, it is a global emergency. But the important message that I want to share today, and the most important thing is it's preventable. We can take action. We can change. This is not a sentence that we cannot reverse. The solution is within our grasp. Air pollution and climate crisis are two heads of the same beast. You can't talk about air pollution without talking the entire climate crisis issue. And the same pollutants that choke our lungs also hit our planet. By dealing with one, we're able to deal with both. Therefore, the demand is an integrated approach, bold policies, strong environmental enforcement, and I again was just talking to the minister on the sideline here, and there's already creative ideas on how to create disincentive for people to pollute. Public alert systems and other ideas are on the table, and hopefully it's something we will see happen in Lahore, but also many parts of Pakistan. When governments formulate their national climate plans, I'm so glad we have Romina here. I think integrating the issue of air quality will be a critical one. The reward, if we get this right, is not just about lives that are saved, but futures that are secured. Clean air is a thread that runs through the Sustainable Development Goals. It means a healthier children, a more productive workforce, a more resilient crops, and a more just society. So this is a critical part of the Sustainable Development Goals on the issue of dealing with clean air. I just want to emphasize, as the head of the UN, I am committed to be in this race with you. We globally are pioneering, monitoring technologies that can be used. We're forging global coalitions, such as the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, and uniting under common
framework for pollution-free planet. And I'm so glad the head of WHO is here, and he will be engaging with all of you in the coming hours and during the conference to give you some concrete ideas of the thinking from our lead agencies on the issues of air pollution. But this task, as the senior minister pointed out, it's not only a government or international agency task. Government can lead, government can respond, government can provide resources, but this challenge is with all of you. How you raise your children, how you manage your waste, how you treat your city, that is where change happens. Without that, government will be only responding and trying as best as they can. So the power is with you. For corporations, for many of the companies that are here, the message is clear. You have a role for the survival of the planet. For civil society colleagues who are here, your voice is important. You must hold everybody in power to account to make sure this issue is dealt with. For every individual, your voice, your vote, and your choices matter. We are in this year's, as you know, this year's International Day for Air Pollution reminds us of what we need to do. But more needs to be done at the national and at the international level. This race we cannot afford to lose the race. It's a race for our health, for our economy, for our children.
And it's a race that if we lose, I think we will know what the consequences will be, not only for Lahore, but for every part of this country and for the region. And I'm glad the minister also mentioned that this is not a challenge for Pakistan only. I want to again congratulate Dawn because the entire Breathe Pakistan initiative is tried to bring the South Asian community and countries around South Asia, because air pollution and climate crisis do not lend themselves to borders or disagreements. So this has to be dealt with from a regional perspective. Count on us, and again, congratulations, and thank you for having me.
Thank you to Ms. Maryam Aurangzeb, Senior Minister, Government of Punjab, Senator Musaddiq Masood Malik, Federal Minister for Climate Change and Environmental Coordination, and Mr. Mohamed Yahya, United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator, Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we formally conclude the inaugural session of the Air We Breathe conference. We extend our gratitude to our distinguished guests for their presence and their words of guidance.
This is a speech. Just leave it on the podium. Silvat will come in.